figuring things out. And I sat with them. And some of them said, we love you. We want to endorse you so badly. But we're afraid we're going to lose, if we do that, our tax-exempt status. And I said, what's this all about? That takes you, and it makes you less powerful than a man or woman walking up and down the street. You actually have less power. And yet, if you look at it, I was talking to some, we probably have 250 million, maybe even more, in terms of people. So we have more Christians, think of this, than we have men or women in our country. And we don't have a lobby, because they're afraid to have a lobby, because they don't want to lose their tax status. So I am going to work like hell to get rid of that prohibition. And we're going to have the strongest Christian lobby. And it's going to happen. And it's going to happen. This took place during the presidency of Lyndon Johnson, and it has had a terrible, chilling effect. When I said that there has to be a temporary ban on certain people coming into this country, we have no choice. There's something wrong. There's something really wrong. And when I said Muslim, I was met with furor. If I would have said Christian, people would have said, oh, we can't do anything about it. That's going to end, folks. We're going to say Merry Christmas now on Christmas. We're going to start going to department stores and stores, and you're going to see big, beautiful signs that's going to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday. And we're going to have a big lot of fun. Now, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to work very hard. That's one of the first things I want to do. I want to get rid of that. And politically, if we use that power, we're going to start going up, because we are being decimated. So just remember that. Just remember I said it. Pastor, it starts here. You like that, what I just said? He's happy. We'll buy it as a trophy. Keep it going for a little longer. But I think the New York Times is one of the most dishonest media outlets I've ever seen in my life. The worst. The worst. The absolute worst. They have an agenda that you wouldn't believe. And they're run by incompetent people. They are totally incompetently run. Washington Post, I have to tell you, I have respect for Jeff Bezos, but he bought the Washington Post to have political influence. And I got to tell you, we have a different country than we used to have. We have a different, he owns Amazon. He wants political influence so that Amazon will benefit from it. That's not right. And believe me, if I become president, oh, do they have problems. They're going to have such problems. And one of the things I'm going to do, and this is only going to make it tougher for me, and I've never said this before, but one of the things I'm going to do if I win, and I hope I do, and we're certainly leading, is I'm going to open up our libel laws so when they write purposely negative and horrible and false articles, we can sue them and win lots of money. We're going to open up those libel laws so that when the New York Times writes a hit piece, which is a total disgrace, or when the Washington Post, which is there for other reasons, writes a hit piece, we can sue them and win money instead of having no chance of winning because they're totally protected. You see, with me, they're not protected because I'm not like other people, but I'm not taking money. I'm not taking their money. So we're going to open up those libel laws, folks, and we're going to have people sue you like you never got sued before. We have many things to do. We have many things to do. When I came down on the escalator with my wife, Melania, it was June 16th. And I said, look, let me tell you, it's not easy running for president. You get lowlifes like a guy like Rubio saying horrible things. And who needs it? Really, who needs it? This is a lowlife. And Cruz lies, but at least it's reasonable lies. this other guy says terrible things. And I will tell you, when you do this, and when I agreed to do it, it takes guts to do it. It takes guts. Especially if you're not a politician. Now, I'm not a politician, thank goodness. I guess now I am, but I'm not, okay? I don't want to be a politician. And when I came down the escalator, there were cameras. Look at all those cameras back there. Look at it. Look at it. Hello, folks. How you doing, you son of a guns? But we had cameras like the Academy Awards. It looked like it was the Academy Awards. And I said to my wife, I looked at the Iran deal, which is one of the great insults in the history of deal making. We give them $150 billion. We get absolutely nothing. We get nothing. And then they attack, they take as hostage our 10 sailors. And the only reason we got them back, why did we get them back? Because the money wasn't paid. It went in 2 days later. So the Persians are great negotiators. They gave them back. They would have kept them otherwise, unless Trump was president. Believe me, they wouldn't be keeping them. They wouldn't be keeping them. And if I was president, the hostages would have been released 4 years ago. Because I wouldn't have negotiated until they released the hostages. And if they didn't release them, I would have increased the sanctions, and we would have had those hostages within 24 hours years ago. I want to tell you one other thing. Your Second Amendment is under siege. Guns, 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 guns. It's under siege. And every time you have a mentally disturbed person, like you had last night, and like you will have, they immediately look to the guns, like the guns pull the trigger. Well, the guns do not pull the trigger. And we are going to protect your Second Amendment 100%. 100%. If you look at what happened, in California with the 14 people killed by 2 people that were radicalized, she probably radicalized him. How about this country? We can't even get the cell number. We can't open the cell. I like safety. I want security. When it comes to terrorists, we got to knock them out, folks, and we got to knock them out and knock them out bigly. Bigly. But when you look at what happened in California with the 14 people and many people in the hospital that are in very bad shape, and these were people that gave the 2 radicalized, this couple, so-called couple, I don't even like to call them a couple, you know what I'd like to call them. It gave this couple anniversary parties and baby parties and showers. These were people that do them and were friends, and they went in and just blew them away. And then you look at Paris, where you have 130 people that were killed, many people in hospitals, gravely injured. These animals just walked in, took their guns, and said, bing, 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 you get over here, bing. If we would have had guns where bullets flowed in the other direction, you wouldn't have had that big problem. It would have been much smaller. So, we're going to protect our Second Amendment, and it is so true. Take Paris, take California. If, like you're a tough cookie, this guy right here looks like an ex-vet. If a couple of you right over there with that big, beautiful beard, if these guys, and I have to pick a woman, that's right, you raising your hand, she's going crazy, she wants to carry a gun. But if we had a few people, right, if we had a few people with a gun on their side or a gun around their ankle, so when these animals start shooting, the bullets start going the other way. You know, Paris is probably the toughest place in the world to have a gun. Except if you're a bad guy, then there's no problem. You just have a gun. So if we had people, or we had people in Los Angeles, would have been a whole different story, folks. Would have been a whole different story. So just remember, your Second Amendment with me is protected. Your borders are protected. Common Core. Common Core is out. It's out. In the top